Hello again, punters, and welcome back to another episode of AFL Unpopular Opinions. I am your host, Ryan Cook, and joining me is the man they're quickly naming Nostradamus of the AFL. It's Tommy Rockliff.
Ryan, it's good to be back. We're getting there, aren't we? We're starting to tick a few boxes on the way home.
Yeah, the prophet they might start calling you, mate.
Well, you weren't here last week, but we sat in here and I said it's probably you two are both lucky to be back, you as well.
Yeah.
But
straight back in.
In the snapshot, I said it's the easiest week to pick 9 winners, and they all got up.
Yeah.
So if there was a few punters out there that got on board, it would have been, I think, 750 at the time.
You're dropping these tips in the open groups, aren't you? Of course.
In the open groups as well. So, I mean, and Sydney's, we've got a pulse. We have a pulse still with the Swans. Your Hawks dropping away, but we'll get to that a little bit later.
You got a pulse. The defibrillator's still out.
Yeah,
just
it's
about
ready
to
to go.
smack them.
They've got to win
Someone's
every game.
bumping the heart at the moment.
So you've got to get 13.5 to get in. So they need to win every game.
It's going to be tight.
Every game, and their percentages.
Don't worry about percentage.
Horrible.
They just got to win.
Anyway,
Just got to win.
Other people got to lose as well.
Exactly. The new face of SEN, Tassie. Congratulations.
I know.
Yep.
Can I announce that? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can go with it. It's announced this morning.
So when can we hear?
Friday.
This coming Friday?
Yeah.
Straight into it?
Straight into it.
Wow, hey.
No, I know. I'm not a great morning operator, it's fair to say as well. So the eyes will be swollen, and there's cameras involved like this. So, I'm on.
Are you blokes going to get along now because it's Triple M and SEN? Is that a rivalry or what?
No, well, different.
Love each other.
Yeah, no, very different. You know,
SEN got about 3 listeners, and
SEN got
Triple M's got hundreds of thousands.
just play a lot of music.
Exactly.
Yeah, so very different.
No, congratulations, though,
Although
mate. That's great.
Tough, because you've got to talk for long chunks on SEN.
Yeah, whereas you talk for 3 minutes and
in and
4
out.
songs.
Radio shows, Triple M, you're commercial
That's
radio,
right. I'm
you're
looking
in
forward
and
to
out.
getting into it.
for-
And
Yeah,
take
what's
people
your-
through
what's your padding
7th
material?
grade cricket.
You famously like music, don't you, mate? You love music.
Well, that's why I'm not on Triple M. Well, actually, Triple M, I don't mind Triple M music stuff or the old 80s
He
rock.
got kicked out of Triple M when he used to work at Triple M. He told him to switch over and listen to different stations.
Yeah, that didn't go down.
Wouldn't have thought so.
Nah, that didn't go down too well. So that was just a game in Sydney. Yeah, we encouraged our listeners to flip over to the ABC next door. I got a call from the boss the next day.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
We actually had a similar story here. One of our ex-employees, not Dill, but Josh Beldinger.
Yes.
When we were major sponsors of the Lions, he was live tweeting the game and getting belted. So he said, if you switch over to Mate 2, you can catch the end of Greece. And it blew up as a major sponsor.
This would have been 2019.
Yeah, he got stood down for a week or so to think about his actions.
Yeah, not great. Not great from our man, Josh.
reasonable to say I didn't last on Triple M too much longer after that.
Nah, wouldn't have thought so.
So we'll have to download, or if you're in Tasmania, hear it on your radio dial, or we'll have to download the app or something.
Yeah, just the app. You listen to it Mondays and Fridays.
Not
all
the
time.
wireless.
The wireless. There's a bit of a lot wireless up in the hills where I'm from. They're still on the wireless.
Yeah.
So
If you were
good.
playing for the Lions now,
Yeah.
what would your goal song be?
My goal song.
Your celebration
how
song,
Charlie
you know?
knows.
You got the
I
country
reckon
road.
they were playing that at Origin.
Yeah.
Country Road as well.
Yeah, it was getting
Has
good.
John Denver been reinvented by
Yeah.
bloody Charlie Cameron's goals?
Yeah.
It's quite extraordinary. I don't know. I can't even.
You've rattled
I can't
it.
even
I
come
like
up with a song.
Just
Just
name 3 songs right now.
3 songs. Just 3 songs. Any songs. You know what I brought?
Elvis or something?
I bought
The Beatles.
Yeah, a bit of the King, Beatles. I like, but this is serious. I purchased. So you wouldn't have done this either because there was no records when you were running around, you blokes.
Oh, it's big now.
No, they are back.
Yeah.
So I've purchased 1 record in my life.
Yeah.
And
Vinyl.
Yeah, a bit of vinyl. It was 1988, and it was In Excess's Kick album.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lovely.
So
I'll take that. That's a great
Yeah.
It's a real
choice.
cutting edge sort of setup. So that's my only album I ever bought.
And you dust it off every night and play the same tracks.
You could have Never Tear Us Apart. You've got an affiliation with Port Adelaide forever now.
Yeah, bloody hell.
There you go.
It did look like you were in a mosh there as well.
Yeah, no, that pops up a lot.
It was doing the rounds on, I think, Fox Sports a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago because of the
Anniversary or something?
Well, it went back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
So it was Port Adelaide-Brisbane game, so it just gets rolled out
of
every
course.
time
Yep.
they have a game. But the week before, Tom Lynch went nanas, and so I
Should
just
be
got
getting
chucked in
royalties or something from
there.
this.
Jeez, I reckon.
They fine you 20 grand or whatever.
15 grand.
15 and gave you 20 weeks, but they still promote it. So you should
Yeah,
probably
well,
ask for that cash
I
back.
love
Well, that's
how-
interest now.
Well, that was the ironic thing. Yeah, the next year, the 2005 grand final, I was a guest speaker at an AFL function, and they rolled that out. I've gone, hang on, that's a contradiction.
Well, it's the same as last year. They fined Ken 20 grand and then promoted it this year with him doing the wings before the game.
Yeah,
So-
have that as a feature match of the opening round.
Well, we
one
might
ball-
as well launch into it.
Yeah.
Is there a more out-of-touch organisation than AFL headquarters with their
Been waiting
supporter
for this.
base?
Can you run us through this? Because you've
Well,
been passionate about this all weekend.
Pretty
all
much,
year, really.
Pretty much everything that they do is just so out of touch. So you start with the Zack Bailey bump this week, and it's Monday. I'd assume that they will challenge that and go to the tribunal because he bumped him, and we just watched it. You watched it
Yeah.
for the first time.
It's not head contact.
It's
Well, it's head on
accidental
head.
head that's
Looks head on chest to me. I don't know.
he didn't go off for a HIA. Nothing. Like if we're going down that path, we might as well go non-contact now.
Well, it becomes done at Gaelic footy. We've spoken about that before.
Well, you tackle, and if you execute a perfect tackle now, you're gone.
So with the bump, so if you do damage when you've elected the bump, we know you can get in strife. But that's where I think Zach has elected the bump. There seems to be a head contact, but there's no damage. So yeah, I don't see how that is a suspension. So what's he been given? 1 week?
1 week, and from all reports, it's going to be really hard to get him off with the graph the way it is, or the match review needs an overhaul. I think we can all acknowledge that. So that's another cross for the AFL.
But what damage is done? So
Nothing.
Why, yeah, so that's where.
So if
does
he
get
went
a
off
week?
and he got HIA, I can accept that, okay, he made head contact. But I know that the AFL is trying to protect the head, go above and beyond litigation that they've had, the cases, etc., that are up against. So I
Absolutely.
get all that.
Yeah.
But accidental contact is going to happen.
Well, but I reckon, but accidental contact that causes damage, I think that's a suspension because we don't want that. But accidental damage, accidental contact that there's no damage, how's that reportable?
Well,
Or how's that suspendable?
It should be a fine at worst, and it shouldn't even be a fine. We're going to see the first player go up for umpire contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 4 umpires out there, which is a joke because they can't even get the calls right anyway. I think we've seen it again on the weekend. Definitely on Friday night.
Yeah.
There was an umpire that paid one 100 metres away, a chop into the arm.
We've seen
in
more of
game.
that, I reckon.
It's ridiculous. We need to go back to 3. And if they're going to have 4 out there and continue to run those routes,
Yeah. Get out of the corridor.
we've seen the perfect one where I think Brisbane got the gold, didn't they?
Yeah,
On
the
back of-
Rayner one.
Yeah.
It's a Cameron.
That's really the getting out of the corridor is really hard because if the game is on one side, so in that instance in the Carlton game, if the game's on one side, the umpires are compressing over. So even though he's say the middle umpire is on the outside of that play,
Yeah.
with the speed of ball movement, they switch. All of a sudden, now he's in the corridor. So it is hard. But I think through all of this, and I reckon there's most media outlets these days at some stage in their shows are talking about the umpires.
Yeah.
And mostly being critical. I think you're talking about the AFL. I think the AFL have let the umpires down.
100% they have.
And that started with the Schultz concussion issue in Perth. That was Optus Stadium. That was Schultz,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah. So that one. And now I think we see these interpretations. We spoke about this last week. I think they see the interpretations of coming into that protected area.
Yeah.
That's changed.
That's hot for a week or two.
The descent's changed. The short passing has changed to 15
You got to
metres.
kick 25 in the back half.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Like-
But I think if they're going to make these alterations, they've got to come to every media outlet and saying, look, rightly or wrongly, we've observed that we probably have gone light on this, so we're going to focus on it.
Yeah.
So that we can actually say, yeah, we've been told during the week, and we can tell the audience, so whether it's at the venue, obviously you're mentioning the players, often get told. But so often you watch Thursday night footy, Friday night footy, and you go, oh, there's a focus on the protected area.
Yeah.
We should all know that to start with, going into it, saying, well, there's been a focus this week from the umpires. They're going to be really red hot on this. So everyone knows, and we're on the same page. At least we can fly the flag for the umpires, and I think they've just been left out to dry, hung out to dry this year too much.
I think on that too, the coaches talk about it a lot post-game because Vossi came out and said he wants a ball up if the umpire gets in the way. And that was his thoughts on that. So, well, does the AFL need to say to the coaches, hey, let's not talk about this?
Well, I think they need to get rid of the centre square bounce. I've always been a traditional and like it. Maybe to start the game, do it. But
no.
they get hit because they bounce and it's slightly obscure. If you're a midfielder, you're tracking, you're not watching where the umpire's coming out.
No.
So I know Matty Rio's been done for it and he stands in that position.
And the umpire's head
is down.
is a foot from the ground when he's bounced the ball, and so it's hard to get out. So I agree totally.
And if he shifts sideways, midfielders are moving with the footy and with their ruckman trying to win that footy. So I think that has to go. And I think the rule of hitting them so many times has got to go.
Well, they've got to throw it up so it allows them to get out easier. But then we get a bigger talent pool. We've been going on about this. You've got a talent pool of umpires that have got to bounce the ball to start with. That's a bloody hard skill. And if you are good at it, going into your 30s, injuries are going to restrict your longevity.
Of course. Yeah.
So get rid of the bounce of the ball. So we've got to find someone that can bounce the ball and run a half marathon. And out of that pool, we've got to find the best decision makers. Now, how about we find the best decision makers? And if they can bounce it, great. Just chuck it up.
It's the same as what we did with footballers. We went away from footballers and recruited athletes. You teach the footballers how to be an athlete and teach the good decision makers how to run. It's
I
the
still
same
reckon
principle.
there's a role. We've got to have 100 kilo plus umpire in every squad.
I think there's got to be 3.
Chest plate on, all the lot. But, like, try to get your heart rate over 160 or whatever and then make a critical decision.
Yeah. You can't,
split second.
Well, that's the same as the players.
The
you make fatigue and then you get that. The AFL, they want to be the front of every social issue around, but they get a chance to put their flag in the ground sometimes and they miss the mark.
But they will say that, the umpires have had this percentage of correct decisions throughout the year or whatever. But that's not the support they need because we're all looking at that going, nah, that's not right. So I think they've got to take us on the journey with them and get us engaging with the umpires so we understand what they've been asked to do and how they've been asked to do it. And just help them out a bit more.
The suspensions of what players have done this year, like I know that we don't want any discrimination of whatsoever, but you can't have one player give player death threats on a ground and then follow up with messages and tell them like physical violence and give them a week and then have another player that said completely the wrong thing, a homophobic slur, and get 4. It's just all out of whack. You need to consistently be across the board with that. If one's 4 weeks, the other one's 4 weeks.
So the homophobic slur or racial slurs on the ground, absolutely 4 or 5 weeks. But drag the other things up as well.
I think the one is the Willy Rioli. No one can understand how that was only 1 week. In my opinion, I can't.
Yeah. No, I
should have been 4.
Yeah.
All of them 4. I think we had an absolute debacle again on Saturday night. Richmond Essendon, like I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. The way to fix not a mid-season tournament that they're talking about, bring it in. We haven't got our heads around it because I don't think we've got any detail on it yet, exactly what it looks like. But you want the fix, get rid of 2 teams. Like I banged on about. Go back to 16 teams because
I'm going to struggle to agree with that one. So I know
you won't. But the bottom players, they're going to be 20% better. We can't have games of footy that we've seen on Saturday night. Like you're an Essendon supporter, you don't want to sit through that.
No, it's difficult to find some spot to enjoy the game. I'm watching individual players and going, oh well, Caddy had a nice kick.
That's all you can root for.
What I'm rooting for this season now.
But again, with that, if you're condensing I think that there is the players, the talent's out there. I think it is out there for an extra 19th team. But in all seriousness, because like we're getting very good players coming out of the mid-season draft. That was have a look at your team, Essendon. Yeah. One of the shining lights of your club is Sam Durham.
Yeah.
Like mid-season draft, had a couple of seasons in the twos with Richmond.
But you know what
get
it
them into
does?
the program, and they thrive at different rates. So an 18-year-old might be ready to go, but some 21 might take a bit more time in the
means
system.
you pick the footballers and the ready-made instead of picking project players, because you've got a lot of outs because you've got 50 on your list. A lot of lists will have project players that they go, all right, we'll see what he's like in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
They go and pick the good state league players first, get them in, and then let those other ones, keep an eye on them in the background. You might be able to get them in the academies and whatnot, but they're not on AFL lists.
No, that's where it is important to keep your eyes out. Absolutely. For in good state league competitions, who can play can often play at the level.
Yeah. So the other thing I would also do is keep the trade window open until mid-season. I think Dimmer mentioned it, but if your team's sitting 5th or 6th and you probably can't win the flag, so like a Hawthorn, for instance, now, you've got holes in that makeup, whether it be key forward, key defender, midfield, whatever you need, you can go and poach someone. You've got a bottom team down the bottom that may be looking to rebuild and looking to the future and go, okay, he's probably not going to be here next year, but he could potentially go and win a flag. So the ideal one you would think of last year is a Matty Kennedy, who's on the outer at Carlton. He could have gone to the Dogs mid-season last year and taken them into a finals campaign. Or that, like, I think that creates the excitement more so than a mid-season tournament that has no bearing on anything.
I think that creates excitement, but it's a slippery slope that the NRL's done, where you get players chasing premierships, and then it takes away from the fandom of the game, where like you can't root for players, because if they're going to leave mid-season and go to Hawthorn or one of these bigger clubs, then it's hard to support your team. Like, I don't know if I agree on that one.
So you're talking fringe players, because there'd be the...
Yeah, like the clubs have to agree to it. But
And it's got to be a trade, not a loan.
yeah, it's a trade. They don't come back.
Yeah.
They don't come back.
Okay.
The smaller clubs can leverage that to their advantage. If there's a team on the outer of the top 4 or whatever, they can put a bit of pressure and say, well, we want 2 picks. Or
we
whatever.
want 2 picks, your 2
Yeah.
first rounders or something next year, or one in 26, one in 27.
And that player's probably got more value mid-season than the end of the year, because someone's thinking he's the perfect one we need.
For a Carlton, for instance, if they go, De Koning, you can go, but St Kilda, you're going to give us 3 first rounders. At least then Carlton supporters go, we're going to the draft. We know this year's probably done for us, but we've got 3 first rounders.
It's great for people in our line of work, because we don't have to talk about De Koning for 2 months either. Like, this just drags on and on.
Another couple of issues that we need to get to. The Michael Voss death threat that turned out not being a death threat, and I know the story is written, it's not necessarily... Well, it is, because it's come through the AFL and then it's been leaked to the media.
Bit of beat up.
It was a really poor joke that shouldn't have been said, but it wasn't a death threat, in my opinion.
It was tongue-in-cheek, I think, but it
missed the mark,
Yeah.
but it's probably not worth 5 years.
No.
The tough thing for like the coaches and Vossi and I suppose people in the media as well is those thought of poorly executed jokes, or to the stage where there have been some death threats. We cop it because sort of you're in that industry or you're the coach, and so you're going to get feedback all the time. It's what it really hurts is when families are dragged into it.
Yeah,
That's the difficult part. When you've got wife and kids, and especially a lot of the coaches with their age, they've got teenage kids that getting around town and doing that sort of stuff, and they're seeing what's been directed at their father or partner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bloody, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
I think that was the lead-in, though. It was like, oh, he's had a death threat, it's horrific. And then once it actually came out, it wasn't. We'll get to the social media stuff in a minute after I finish this rant, because there's been some horrific stuff overnight. The debacle of the floating fixture. So we were set for blockbusters on Thursdays and Friday nights to keep us entertained. So the last 3 weeks we've had Carlton, who have been shithouse for a long period now. We know that they were going to be shit. Essendon's next 5 games, I just want to read them to you.
Do you have to?
Thursday night footy, Friday night footy, Saturday afternoon, Friday night footy, Friday night footy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a travesty. They've got us in for a Saturday Arvo slot. I'll be writing to the AFL.
And no Nick Martin now, which just makes it even worse.
No Nick Martin, who's a star, so we wish him all the best. It's come out that he's got a ACL. But
that's terrible.
didn't we have a floating fixture to avoid games like this?
Well, that's the reason we had the floating fixture, isn't it?
Like Essendon St Kilda on a Friday night in round 23. Like, it's a nothing game. Why the hell would they have it on a Friday night?
Yeah, not sure about that one.
I think that the thinking was that they thought Essendon was going to be coming good by this point in the season. This decision, from what I've read, they made this decision 6 months ago.
But I don't think you can just guess with these things.
No,
You go,
of course not.
these are the these are the top teams. Like,
The floating fixture's not determined 6 months ago, though, surely.
But they have it in mind. They're like,
I suppose you
Essendon
gotta-
might be the team we put on Friday
But
night.
you get deep into the season, you go,
Yeah.
no, they're just off a little bit.
Yeah, why isn't someone making that call?
yeah. Oh, well,
They're just a couple
11
short.
seasons.
They're playing twos. I mean, they got that
Yeah.
many injuries.
Yeah.
It's terrible. They'd rather hide on the twilight game on
exactly.
Saturday or Sunday.
Can I just ask you before we move on, Jack? Is this the lowest?
I don't think we're moving on yet. I think Rocky's
Yeah,
still got a few
he's
to
on his
go.
soapbox. But is this the lowest you felt as a Bombers fan since the drug saga?
Yeah, it's a tough one because you can point at injuries. So you can be like, oh, our season's derailed, but, maybe it's not the way we're set up to play the game. But at the same time...
It's a fact. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing. They're decimated by injuries.
Yeah.
It was 6 weeks ago when they played up here against Brisbane, they had about one of their starting defenders in. I mean, it's just... It is... I think it's a fact. It's a reason. Sure, they may not have made finals, but they would be much better than they are now.
Yeah.
It's just wild to consider how many injuries are on the list and whether there's a correlation between what they're doing off the field and what's happening on the field. Because, 3 or 4 major injuries, you're like, oh, that's a bit of a coincidence. Like up to 11, there might be something deeper going on.
Well, they'd be reviewing that enormously. That'd be a massive review into what's causing it.
Yeah.
And the outcomes on the field. We were chatting before about like you're saving some players for 3 years' time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know the systems and that sort of stuff. And when you're a kid and you get this opportunity early, you come in, all you're thinking about, shit, I've just got to get enough touches so I can get a game next week. So you're not so much focused on systems and you don't know them realistically.
Yeah.
So that system breaks down and that's... with the lack of talent as well, it compounds the issue. So, no, it's a bloody tough time
And their
for
bodies
Essendon.
probably just aren't ready for this high level
Not
contact.
that many.
Yeah.
That's where you see high draft picks coming into very good established sides. And they don't have to get beaten up.
Yeah.
You look back to Gold Coast when they came into the competition. David Swallow, as a kid, put straight into the midfield for the first 5 years, gets beaten up.
Yeah.
You just can't. It's not sustainable.
Well, that's why I think the criticisms of Harley Reid as well. He's the number one player for West Coast. He's been thrown in the deep end. We're expecting him to do it as a second-year player. He's doing very, very well and going to be a player of the future. But there's a lot the AFL need to tinker with, in my opinion. They're so out of touch with their fan base.
But that's where the 2 appointments that are starting in the next month with
Greg Swan.
Swanee and who else was there?
It's Tom Harley.
Tom Harley.
Yeah.
Coming in. So
From
great
club
footy
land.
acumen that come in with that club experience.
It's exciting.
Yeah, they'll make a difference.
That's me rant over. I could go all day with them, but
We will touch on the...
Part 1 done.
Yeah, part 1 done. We will touch on the Wanganeen Malira social media posts. We're not going to repeat what was said because it's pretty despicable.
and Jace Burgoyne as well.
And Jace Burgoyne.
Yeah.
We speak about this every month, though. It's
But
disgusting.
it's becoming such a problem now.
So again, I'm not a social media operator, so I don't know how it works. But why don't you have to verify who you are when you set up an account?
There's no accountability at all. You can...
Especially on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
have
so
your
it's-
dog or
yeah.
a car as your
Literally,
profile
Those are the
picture.
sort of operators doing
All
this
you
stuff.
need to do is get an email address,
Yeah.
and so you could have 50 accounts, and I'm sure there is people that have that. And we're obviously a gambling agency, and we speak about it in the snapshot more so. Lynch obviously doesn't touch on it because of his role with AFL, but if you're going to gamble on a AFL game, you've got to take responsibility for yourself.
Absolutely.
It's not the players' fault that they have 24 instead of 25. Their job is out there to play their role for the team and try and win games of footy. If you're going to put a bet on, you need to take ownership. That's yours. Look at yourself in the mirror and be ashamed of yourself if you're going to message someone. If it used to be fantasy footy when I was playing, now it's gambling. There's so much. We know that it's so big in the industry. Be what it is, but the abuse that players cop, it has to stop. It's not right. It's not fair. Take some accountability of your own actions. Look at yourself in the mirror and start there.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe you showed me what was posted. could not believe that. That's extraordinary.
Attacks on family members is just the lowest of low.
Yeah,
Again, like what we were saying before, we can cop stuff directed at us. You can't cop that stuff. But,
No.
But when it's, you're dragging family into it. And family, it's the hardest people in these situations are the family. Because they're getting... They feel for the pressure that you're under, and they've got no control over it. That's shocking.
And those players have their support bases of the footy club, and they get all this coaching for media and stuff.
Well, and
the
you
families
go in eyes
don't
wide
have
open. And again, it's
same.
That stuff is just. I can't believe it. It's disgusting.
It has to be almost criminal charges laid against them because they'd be able to find the IP address of where it's come from and track down. In my opinion, they would know who it is because your phone's track where you are.
Well, you can charge them for that. It's just, tracking them
down and finding them. So I don't know how it works, whether the player would have to put in a complaint or whatnot, but what they're doing is tenfold worse than what happened to Michael Voss. So if they found him, I think they should be prosecuted, whether they can find him or not. It's disgraceful.
I'm sure the AFL will investigate all of that.
Well, the AFL have been looking into that space all the time.
Well, I think the Australian government's even done it somewhat in the fact that you've got to do ID verification now. It's more for the under 16s or under 18s, but I think everyone's going to have to do it.
Yeah. I think on Twitter you've got to be verified, don't you, to message someone?
I think so, yeah.
Or you've got to be following each other, something like that.
Yeah.
Instagram's a totally different story. That's where the problem comes in.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the footy. Rocky, you sent through your top 8 over the weekend to our group chat. You had the Dogs in 5th, I think, which I think is a talking point for a team that is not defending very well.
They don't defend. I looked at their games ahead. I don't think they win Friday night, so that'll be a cracker. Brisbane and the Dogs Friday night at the Gabba. They're likely to get up and win that game, though. That's the Western Bulldogs. Their offense is as good as anyone. It's a high-scoring ground at the Gabba.
Well, remember what happened last time? That was gather round out at Norwood, and it was one-way traffic in the first half for the Dogs. Then Big Eka put on a clinic kick 5 in the second half.
Traffic the other way. Then they take on Essendon, which is the bye. That's just give them the 4
Jack.
now. The Giants
Good
is an interesting
Friday night
game for them. Whether they always have good battles against them. They were really good as well on Saturday afternoon. Lynch was down there. Watch that one.
Right.
The D's, I think they beat the Eagles and the Dockers to finish. So I think they win 5 out of the last 6. So I've got the ladder finishing. Collingwood on top, Brisbane 2nd, Crows 3rd, Cats 4th, Dogs, Giants, Suns, and my Swans. Slip in at 8th. The Hawks and Freo is out.
What percentage you give them?
Oh no, I didn't worry about the percentage.
Oh yeah, okay.
Their percentage will finish on 102. They're gonna have to win every game.
Yeah,
so you got to win 13.5 to make finals. They can't lose. And I was not nervous at all yesterday watching them against St Kilda.
Not sweaty, nothing.
Nah, they were home. They were home for a long way.
You were about to slide in a few Swans players' DMs after that.
Eric Gilden.
Eric, he's a star, isn't he?
A nice bit of work. That tap out goal. That was incredible.
And Grundy's getting back to his best when we seen him at Collingwood.
Is he all Australian ruckman?
Yeah.
I think it's hard to argue against him right now.
Well, that's recency bias. It's probably the last 6 or 7 weeks, I reckon he has been.
Yeah.
He's actually, he has replicated probably 2018, 19.
Absolutely.
Just running absolutely everywhere and dominating games. So he's certainly in the conversation.
Can he maintain that level for the next 5 games? Because they need him to.
Yeah, they need him to. Yeah. They were disappointing, getting back to your first point, but he'll need to do that for the rest of the season for him to play finals as well.
Yeah.
The Dogs is a flip of the coin. You never know what you're going to get with them.
They're such an exciting team, but then, they have chunks where they just get scored against. But they're a hard one to work out. It will be a great game this weekend.
If they do that, we've spoken 20-minute period. If you stay with Brisbane when they put their foot down, if they can limit that to 2 goals, which they've shown that they can't defend at the moment, the same thing could happen as what happened against Port Adelaide, where they put on 8-9 like that. Yeah. So there's a potential for it to be over in a 20-minute chunk. If the Dogs can limit that, they'll win that game of footy.
Yeah. So Brisbane probably could have beaten Carlton by a lot more, fair to say, because they did have patches. But I probably got more confidence out of my thoughts that they're premiership favourites from that game than any other game. And it was mainly because, again, Zack Bailey kicked about 3 points in the first 5 minutes, but his speed, you think, geez, no one can go with him. And then I'm warming to the level that this player, I reckon, is getting to. But Cam Rayner's power, like no one could tackle him.
He's been on fire since you called him out, Rocky.
Well,
Yeah.
they're playing him in his position, in my opinion. Play him out of the goal square, do the dusty, play him in the centre square bounce, start him there and drift forward. Bailey Humphrey does it at the Gold Coast, but put him in the goal square because we speak about Brisbane's front half not operating the best without Joe there. He's a full forward. He's a genuine tough matchup out of the goal square.
Yep.
Don't play him at half forward on the flanks. Play him as your main man deep inside 50 and in the centre square bounce, and you'll see a different player. And I agree with Lynchy. I think he's those two positions. He's a different player. Play him at cross half forward, and he's not.
He's probably, and again, everyone's getting much bigger. But he's the size of Dermot Brereton. But he's got power, like incredible power. Or he's the size of Jason Dunstall. And that incredible power off the mark. And I have to have a look this week. Broken tackles. He'd have to be right up
leading
there.
the
No one
comp.
seems to be able to grab him, and he knows that now. So he actually goes, flicks them off, and he looks very good. So now they were impressive, the Lions, and we've touched on a few times with the likes of Caddy and Tracy, and Cadman took another step with half a dozen on the weekend. There's some of these good young forwards coming through nicely.
What do you make of the ruck at Brisbane? Do you think they're going to stick with this two-man rotation, Big O and Fort? They're the only team that seems to have nailed it so far. A few have tried and failed.
Freo,
Yeah.
in a different way.
Jackson plays almost as a midfielder.
It's a tough one. I think they're still not confident in Oscar's body, so they'll keep Darcy going, and Sam Day was out on the weekend, so they'll keep Darcy Fort going. Darcy Fort, I think there was periods over the last few years after Dan McStay had gone where he was the more natural stand under the ball forward. Even with Danaher there and Eric, he was the more bail-out kick. And I reckon up in the Adelaide Hills in Gatherround one time, he kicked a few goals and took forward 50 marks. So I think they're comfortable enough, but it'll be more about, is Oscar going to stand up?
Yeah.
And that's where the real concern is.
I think they'll play Fort, because what you're getting out of Day wasn't what you get out of Fort. Fort goes in and can be a successful ruckman through the middle of the ground, but also bob up and kick a goal or two. I think the game week before, I think Day only had one handball or one kick before he got subbed out. So I would go with Fort, proven on the big stage, obviously premiership player. I think they work better. It's just a matter of whether Big O's body can stand up or not.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Rowan Marshall's going to be up for grabs because TDK to St Kilda's basically got a done deal.
Done deal,
It's
and
coming to fruition.
I think Brisbane are certainly in the market for a ruckman, whether it be an Oscar Allen or a Marshall. Draper's been up here, so they're fishing around.
What do you reckon Draper's thinking right now with the way the Bombers are playing? I know I don't want to keep bringing it back to Essendon, but geez.
Well, he Achilles, wasn't he? So he's going to be out for a long period of time anyway. But
he'd start the season
it'd be
next year.
late, I reckon. I mean, anyone at Essendon, where are they? They've been in no man's land. They've been
for a
stuck
long
in
time.
the gooch.
Even Zach Merritt. Like,
But you need need a group of those guys to stay together because I'd imagine if you get this club up and going that have been a sleeping giant for a long, long time now, and they've got a huge supporter base, I'm sure they can replicate sort of almost like Richmond did 15 years ago. A sustained period of lack of success. But if you can get this group up and going, the supporters around the country will be huge. The groundswell will be enormous. So, but you need a group of them to commit.
They can't sell the farm for Harley Reid.
Nah.
I think it'd be massive if you got him, but they sold the farm for Mackay. Hasn't worked, Ben Mackay. And I know that you probably had to, but clearly overpay. If he should nearly go to the club, he probably wouldn't, and why would you? But say, I'll take a pay cut and go and get someone else, to bring it in. If you want team success, because I think it was reported that he was the highest paid player.
Yeah, but I think
year. It was front-ended.
It was front-ended,
and it comes back. But you'd nearly give some of it back, wouldn't you?
I think so, yeah.
Would you? No.
I
Rocky,
think so.
would you?
You
Well,
should.
I think so. Daisy Thomas did it. I
but-
think you would sign for unders if you said that we're going to go somewhere.
But say he got the 1.5 to start with. Now, say next year he's on 600. I mean, he's not going to give back money.
It depends if he invested it well.
Yeah, well, and that's where you probably
where you lean on your coterie groups.
Yeah, you can tear up
Essendon.
your contract pretty quick. But so what clubs can do, and you'd hope this is where the whole list management, total player payments is a balancing act, because you have to pay 95% of the cap. So you can't just pay half the cap.
Yeah.
You have to pay 95%.
Isn't that crazy that you think that Collingwood is paying the same as what a North Melbourne are?
Yeah.
Or West Coast is paying the same.
Some people are
seems wrong,
dining
doesn't it?
out.
So that's where you'd imagine, say St Kilda, because that's the more public one, but with Essendon as well, where they're at the moment, you would hope they're paying 95% this year, so they've banked the extra 5%. So next year, you're paying 105%. So what's that? That's 1.8. So the extra, say, $900,000 that you've got now to spend on someone. So that's where you break the back of an opposition club, get TDK in or Harley Reid or something like that. But they're the things that's really important with your list management, where you are in your window and making sure that you can land someone.
Are there concessions in place by the AFL in regards to injuries and bringing in mid-season drafts and stuff like extra players?
Yeah, I'm not sure how there is an injury component in there. There's certainly you can.
Can you write off some of the salary?
You can write off some of like the head knock stuff, the concussion stuff. You can write off the first couple of years of that, I think.
Yeah.
Or the next couple of years in that space.
Just go to Geelong and allow them to investigate themselves.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Looks good.
The people at the AFL that investigated Geelong, he was the manager of Geelong at the time. But
well, it's not surprisingly their salary cap's all right.
they had that investigation. Nothing came of that. But you mentioned a club there, and I was walking my dog on the weekend, little Pepper, and thinking, I don't know why it bobbed in. It bobbed in because I was thinking of my Swans and making sure that they won. Is St Kilda the most irrelevant club in the history? That's going to upset St Kilda supporters, but they would have to be the most irrelevant club in the AFL, wouldn't they? Because people go, oh, North Melbourne or West Coast, but I would say most people would like St Kilda. Yeah. Like there wouldn't be many people that you ask on the street, do you like St Kilda or you hate them? No, not many people would say, oh, I hate St Kilda.
You're neutral.
Like you're like, I hope they do well. You'd almost support them when your team's not playing them.
Yeah.
But they're so irrelevant in the competition, aren't they?
They were like the hipster club in 2010 when they made the grand
good?
final.
Yeah.
And they have such a strong supporter base, and I have
do
so
have
much
a passionate supporter.
Yeah, I have
base.
so much respect for the fans of that team.
They hang in there.
But they're just like they've won one flag. They're caught in no man's land again. They're just like.
But I think that's why they're trying to break the cycle now with Gubby Allen and Ross Lyon there. So they've committed long term with Ross Lyon and Sauce to actually break the cycle. So whether it's the right one or not.
Do you
with
agree with
TDK,
that?
But
most irrelevant club.
I think it's them and Fremantle.
Well, Ross Lyon keeps them in the headlines.
I don't know because they're loyal, passionate supporter base.
Yeah, but like opposition teams, like if you go down the street and ask, do you hate Richmond or do you hate Brisbane? Like the northern state teams are probably a bit different as well.
Yeah.
They're probably not as firm, but like if you said Sydney Giants, Brisbane, Gold Coast, people probably don't hate them as much as they sort of do now because of the academies. But if you go Freo, people hate Freo. People hate West Coast. People hate Adelaide. People hate Port. They hate Melbourne for the ski.
Because they go skiing.
They hate the Dogs, the Western. Like, there's people that hate the Dogs. People hate Carlton, Collingwood. Like,
well, who's their biggest rival?
St Kilda's the one that is like, meh, whatever. Don't you reckon?
That's us. Their rival, Carlton.
Nah, Carlton. Collingwood.
Everyone rivals
but Carlton, because half the Carlton players used to go to St Kilda afterwards. So they all went over. Alex
That was the
Jesselenko.
70s when you used to play.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
They don't have players either that you really hate. Like, I think Stephen Milne's probably the last player that you look at on St
Stevie
Kilda's.
Baker.
Yeah. But right now, though, there's no one.
Like, who do you hate at St Kilda? Or like,
Goddard,
I think everyone likes Ross a bit because he's like a bit different.
What of his press conference last week? That was some gold.
Well, that's what keeps them relevant. They're just sound grabs of Ross Lyon.
But they're irrelevant.
Harsh.
Harsh?
Harsh.
Fair.
Harsh.
Fair. Anyway.
I think it's fair, yeah. I'm trying to liken them to they're kind of like Sunderland, the English football team.
Oh, we don't like them. We hate them, though. Newcastle United fans.
Yeah,
hate
that's
that.
a rivalry, but the Sunderland's irrelevant too, aren't they? It's just
Yeah, well, they're in League 2 or
Yeah.
something now.
They're not even in the big
Yeah.
dance anymore.
yeah. Before we take a break, Fremantle, where are we at on them? Are we buying in finally? Because that was like a finals game against Hawthorn on Saturday night.
They've been good. They still miss on my predictor, but Sarong.
I reckon that's a fixture.
The simple
little
thing,
bias.
simple thing with Fremantle is you take Sarong out, you win the game of footy.
So why didn't Hawthorn tag?
Yeah.
Well, you
That's-
asked your coach, Sam Mitchell.
Yeah.
He's lauded as the messiah and the greatest coach of all time. But why wouldn't you? So when he's had, I've seen a stat this morning. I can't remember who put it up. It was one of the reporters. So I apologise for not acknowledging you. But they're 9-0 or 8-0 when he's had over 28, and 2-6 when he's had under.
Yeah, well.
So if you limit him to under 28, you win the game of footy.
Yeah, and you only have to go back to the James Jordan work
Yeah.
the week before.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced they can win it. They're playing finals, though. They've won 6 of the last 7 games.
Yeah.
They got over the line, but
Are they?
yeah, they're making finals.
They'll lose it this week, Collingwood.
Well, yeah, okay, we'll give you that one.
They
but
beat West Coast. They beat Carlton. Put Adelaide on the road is a 50-50? Or are you giving that win?
I give
Give
them
them that.
65
In Adelaide?
at least. There,
65? Brisbane and Dogs. I give
They
him
win
two.
it.
I give him 2 more wins.
you need them to only
Yeah,
win
you
I give him
want
2
them.
more.
You've got a vested interest in
three.
that.
Three are
yeah.
a given, I reckon.
You give them against Port. Port were ordinary yesterday,
Yeah.
but the week before, Port were outstanding
Well, it
against
depends
Brisbane.
which port you get.
The same thing, toss of the coin.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
they're there. They're developing.
No, I
But
give them
they're
2
not-
more wins.
But they're not a flag favourite, and I think maybe the expectations have been too high. On
Everyone
Freo.
at the start of the year had them top 4. I didn't.
No,
You and I
we didn't.
Our smart punters.
Yeah,
over there.
that's right.
You've been calling for Longmuir's head for about 2 years.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought if they were no good last year, you would have, and then they didn't make it last year, did they?
No, they missed last year. And I
Just.
think the pressure. Well, he would have been in all sorts of strife with that employee agreement that he's gone into with his
Yep.
contract. If they miss this year, all sorts of strife.
They're lucky they've won 6 of their last 7, because otherwise you'd be gone.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, but they've won 6 of them.
Yeah,
no, they've been good. Like, I'm not taking anything away. Like,
Fags would be in strife if they lost 6 of their last 7.
well, Fags was going to leave last year, and then they got up and won the flag. So
Fags was in strife halfway through the third quarter against GWS.
But yeah, well, they go on and win it. It's funny. We don't know, obviously. We did our coach's hot seat last week. Lynchy sacked them all, which is a bit rough.
I
I thought I was trying to save them all.
Oh, yeah.
Lynchy was-
Sounds about right for you guys.
His role as the host is not
Yeah.
his spot. No, he just gets here, just hands me a hand grenade, and so just throw that on someone.
He's here for the hot takes.
Hot takes, clip them up, and away we go.
Nicely done.
All right, boys, let's take a quick break. Then we're going to come back and talk about the AFL Grand Final sprint. You're listening to AFL Unpopular Opinions. Fellas, let's go back to Friday last week. A bit of news broke about the track superstar Gout Gout, Ipswich's finest sprinter, by the way. Shout out Ipswich.
How's he going through his year 12 studies?
Yeah.
Racing through it.
Tough time of year for him. I think he's overseas right now
Yeah,
competing.
I think he's shelved
Yeah.
ambitions of being a neuroscientist.
He reminds me a bit of myself.
Yeah,
Just over
Out
5.
of the blocks.
Out of 5.
Yeah.
Over 5.
I can see the similarities, yeah.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with this, though, is the AFL's come to him with a proposal to potentially line up in the grand final sprint this year. Don't know if it's going to happen. It's going to be a $1 million offer, I'd imagine. But I want to know, who do you think could potentially run him down if he had a handicap?
Running down.
No one would
Or
run him
compete
down.
with him.
They'd have to be out in front.
So on grass, 100 metres. So what the fastest AFL player would be 11 seconds?
Yeah.
yeah,
the 11 seconds for
Yeah,
the
someone
quickest.
would do it. 11.
And so what he's about 10. He's
Roughly. Yeah.
low 10s.
Yeah.
So there's 10 metres. Yeah.
You'd want a fair handicap. Well,
Yeah.
Petricelli from West Coast,
Yeah.
he was fast. I'm just quickly going back and had a look at the fastest players recorded, because they do take them now on
GPS.
Yeah. Gary Rowan was. Rankin,
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
one. Yep.
Yeah.
Charlie Cameron,
Yeah.
Zack Bailey the one that you
Oh,
said,
yeah.
but over 100, I'm not sure.
Well, I
is
don't
more.
know who over 100, because we see the pace as 30 metres, really.
Jesse Motlop. There's not many, I don't think.
You reckon Cyril would be a chance?
Now?
Not now. Not now.
Pickett would be. Not now. Pickett would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Trying to think.
I
Go
reckon
through the
you'd be-
clubs the fastest.
I reckon you'd
Danger
be better-
back in the day. Adam.
Danger.
Danger, yeah, okay.
One of the bigger, more powerful guys, I think, has got the power.
So not the skinny
whip it.
sprinters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Big,
much
powerful.
to Gout either, though.
That's true.
No, but I think he's proven over 100.
No, I don't know. I haven't seen it live.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So he had his first European win on the weekend, didn't
He did.
200.
Yeah.
Pretty close
He's
to 20
absolutely
flat.
flying. Yeah.
So the thing
He
that
is
they've
flying.
got to do, though, if they're going to sign him, they've got to make it an event and actually get the quickest players at the clubs, because I ran in it once or twice to get the free tickets and the pays.
You did not.
How did you go?
You
No,
ran in
This
the
is news to
100.
me.
You run the heat at 8 or 9 in the morning, you're done for the day. Because I certainly wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't
So
making
you're
the final.
tanking it.
What would your PB be over 100?
Over 100
You're sort of 16 and a half operator, wouldn't you?
Well, that's generous.
And you're a mad runner these days.
Mad
so
runner.
Maybe you
More-
line up this year.
More over distance, but if they're going to do it, they have to make it a
Fair income one.
fair income.
Yeah.
You have to pick your quickest player, and they have to do it. So if
And-
you're out of the finals,
They
Yeah.
should get that YouTuber as well, I Show
Oh, yeah.
Speed. He
Yeah,
races
yeah.
everyone, doesn't he?
well, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Make it a marquee event, because it's not really relevant. No one really gives a stuff. But if they are going to do it,
Yeah. This makes it exciting again. I
No
think.
one cares at all
No.
when
No.
it's just a
So
AFL
if-
one.
yeah.
And you're right. It's
Because there's no
half
big
the guys
names.
have been on footy
Yeah.
trips for 3 weeks
Yeah.
and come back for the
I think
cashy.
McCreary won it last year.
McCreary-
So that kind of tells you what you need to know.
yeah.
So what do they give you for going in it?
What'd you get?
I got 2 tickets to the game, so I took my old man and a paycheck as well.
A paycheck too.
Like, I'm going to say 1,500, but it might have been more.
Wow.
I'm not sure what it is now,
bad.
but
That's nice. Couple
How
of
do
pots
I-
for
how
the
do
old
you
man
apply?
there. Beautiful.
slip
it's
into
worth
it.
tearing
It's
a hammy for.
It was a good day.
He wasn't going to tear it. He wasn't going to tear it at me.
But
Didn't
they
get
have,
out a
to, they have
second
to do it like the school gift as well, though. It has to be
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
marketed.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
He'd run them all down, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think, he gives a handicap, but you have all the AFL players off the same
Off the
mark.
same? Not off a
the-
handicap?
Nah.
I
No.
reckon you do the heats in the morning and then do your handicap so that
Oh,
you have everyone
oh.
trying to finish.
Everyone running dead.
Pretty close, yeah, at the end.
No,
No,
you
they've
make
got
it
to
a fair,
run.
make it a fair income one for the AFL.
How much head start would you need? 10 metres?
12 metres,
12?
10 metres. Yeah.
So
And
he's
I reckon 10's the sweet spot.
so he's got to run 110, and all the players got to run 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 11
He'd
seconds.
he'd mow them down.
Oh, imagine that.
I reckon we
They'd
get
be
some
at the
umpires
90.
in there.
I
What?
reckon some
Get some
commentators.
umpires in there.
You want to put the hand up? Richie?
Commentators.
Oh, there'll be some of us in a Zimmer frame.
Well,
There'll be knees be falling off, hips falling out.
Get some
We did-
encroaching. Oh, that's an
Whatever
extra
the-
50 metres. Get out.
half of them have got gout.
Yeah.
So
Double gout. Oh, I've got it twice.
got gout and gout me.
Jack did mention off air a race that he'd like to see, so we might as well bring it up. He had Libber and Matt Hill.
Matty
race.
Hill,
Oh,
the
Matty-
great
Matty-
man.
Matty Hill.
How much would Matt Hill need?
A week.
What would be so you'd have
I don't think
BT,
you'd
Matt
get
Hill,
insured for.
BT, Matt Hill. Who else? The
Brent
Chief.
Speed.
The chief.
The Chief would be good.
Or chief would blow him away.
You reckon?
He'd shit it in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's still powerful, the chieftain.
Over how far though? He wouldn't last 100.
Yeah, but he'll be that far in front. He just shut it down. He'll be right.
What
Unless he
about the
snapped his
coaches?
hamstring.
We get who's winning the coaches?
So when we went to China back in the day, the coaches had a race
Oh, they did. I was there for that one.
pre-game, the day before the game. I reckon there was at least 3 hamstrings, a calf. I think
Jeez.
Chad Corns ripped his hamstring, didn't he?
and had to medicate to be the runner. He was the runner, so he was on everything. And couldn't move. Ripped his, I think, hammy off the bone.
At least
Schofield
the
was
Chinese
same.
fans would have understood what was going on for that part of the game.
Yeah, that was it. A coach's race would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Who would win an AFL coach's race?
Oh, well, Rossi
got-
Lyons had both knees replaced, so he's probably
Rossi
out.
would be no good. Vossi would be no
Foy.
good.
Fagan, no good.
Fagan, no good.
One of the Scott
Matty Nicks,
brothers.
probably
Ross
no good.
Lyon, no good.
Scott
Sam
was
Mitchell would be
broken.
all right still.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
body seems...
Oh, yeah. It's got
Adam Kingsley, or if you combine it with bench
Weights.
press and 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uze, probably not.
Get him
Coxie,
into
I
the...
don't think so.
Coxie,
he's
nah.
done.
I think Longmuir could be a smoky.
Just the long striding.
Yeah, he looks like
Yeah.
he keeps himself in good nick.
What about, so High Rocks is the
McQualter.
big fad
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Which AFL athlete would be like the ultimate athlete? You know, they used to have Rexona Ultimate Athlete and Billy Slater would win every year. Which AFL player would you put in that?
The ultimate athlete.
Yeah.
Or like current players?
Yeah, current.
Who's the big full forward for Geelong? Shannon Neal.
Yeah, okay. Nearly.
He's their best 400-metre runner.
Is he?
He's a monster.
Yeah, we'll
I
probably...
think, like,
Yeah.
mentioned him before, Rayner, with all
Rayner,
the
yeah.
strength
Yeah.
stuff and power.
It's funny because you get
Some good
players
athletes.
that will blow up in certain things, like in different exercises. So that you might have a great runner, but then you put them in a pool or something, they can't swim.
Yeah.
I know that there's no swimming in that, but you'd be surprised. There'd be someone really random that'd throw their head up that you'd be like,
Maybe Pennells, he used to play basketball.
Did he?
did he? Was he a basketball player? I didn't know that.
They did, 'cause they
Multi-sport athlete.
You get these guys that are good at a lot of things. So we used to... Craig Bolton, when he was at the Lions, and he ended up going to Sydney and premiership player down there and multiple Australian. He was... They called him the package up here. Like, he was the ultimate athletic package. But when they got him to Sydney, they called him the parcel because they reckoned, well, he couldn't swim, so he didn't have the whole package. So he was just a parcel.
That's a great one.
Another one, like Travis Johnson broke the record for chin-ups at the Lions. He did like 27 or 8, which looking at him, you wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
So it's funny what people...
Isaac
could
Kenny
do.
would be good.
You broke the record for jam donuts, didn't you?
Donuts, yeah. Hot
back in the
pies.
day. How many donuts did you put away?
That was the one where you couldn't touch your lips, I
Yeah,
think.
that was it. Yeah.
Eat a donut.
Inhaling.
You got to lick your lips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you eat a jam donut, it's
okay.
like a
Like the
wheat,
powder.
it's like a wheat bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
goes all
Yeah.
dry in your mouth.
Oh,
And you-
really?
There's all those challenges out there.
Oh, that's right. You're the package.
We might bring them back. Yeah.
The ultimate package.
Rightio.
All right, boys.
Want to look into that, though?
Yeah. A jam donut challenge. Get that ready, Rich.
Bring it.
Well, what do we go? 4 of us go to High Rocks or whatever it is.
Yeah. All right.
Give it
You
a
think
crack.
you've got us,
It's like the
Lynchy?
donuts when they used to do the challenges.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mate,
Yeah.
there'd be a winner. Ryan would eat that up.
have a
he
look
just
at
goes
him.
there all the time. Look
Yeah.
at little man, whip it.
Look at you.
Yeah. You got more confidence too. You're up and about. You're
Yeah.
looking
Why? Yesterday's heroes.
Yesterday's heroes.
Oh, there's
You were on bounce. Did you ever do a
Yep.
few of them?
I did the one they've been rolling lately, the bubble soccer.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did that years ago. That was
That'd make me spew.
absolutely hilarious. And as I think last week, Gazy hit his head on the ground because that
he
happens
should not
too.
be doing that.
What about and
His
Gazy,
movement.
great,
Oh,
one of the great
Lord.
men, one of the great
Yeah,
men of all
yeah.
time. And you Google his career.
Yeah.
One of our great Olympians.
Exactly.
No good at anything else. He's just
mate.
hilarious. So no, that was some of the best days, and I was more an observer in those. Sometimes with the bubble soccer, I'd get involved, but Spud used to. They did a one-on-one marking contest, Spud and Gazy.
Yeah.
and Spud legitimately clubbed him, just clubbed
He
him.
hated losing.
Oh
Put him on a streak.
Well, that same day because we were catching, they were shooting baseballs high into the air and we were taking catches, and I think we're down in Caulfield somewhere, and a postie on his motorbike had pulled up behind the fence and was potting Spud. And Spud dropped another one, and so Spud turned around while this bloke's potting him and took off after him. And this vision of this guy just flying on his motorbike and Big Spudley with his St Kilda jumper taking off after him. Some of those were very good. There was
He's clearly not the parcel. Posty left him behind.
there was one Damien Fleming was hosting a few of those early days.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
And so there was one where they had paintball. So it was Spud
no.
v Chief in paintball. And Flem has brought them both in at the end and sort of saying, well done, Spud, or, great win, Chief, or whatever. And then I think Jace said, well, we've just got one more thing to do. And just turned around And from here,
Oh.
just pumped half a dozen into phlegm.
He would have cracked it.
Oh, absolutely. And they hurt. And so he took off.
From point blank range.
Yeah, they give it to him.
Into the Jats crackers? Or
Nah, just the guts.
Just the
wells.
guts.
Oh, no.
No good. So they were very funny times.
Those are the glory days
Yeah.
of bounce.
The
Bring
good
it
old
back.
days. It's like the footy show, the good old days.
And Lee Colbert threw an egg and hit Spud in the head from about 20 metres. Spud down tools.
That would have gone down well.
He was
Yeah.
off halfway too. No, it brings back some great memories.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, we miss Spud. He was
miss
good.
Spud.
Yeah.
Oh no, great man. And we digress. The hour before the show was the funniest hour I had each week. Because you're saying things that can't go on air. And the Chief is the best at it.
Yeah.
And Spud and the Chief bagging each other, but they're hilarious.
Yeah, they had great chemistry.
Oh,
on there.
absolutely.
It was outstanding. Yeah. All right, boys, that might do us for this week.
Good on you, gents.
It's very good.
Cheers,
Good to
guys.
see you got hat off this week too.
Me?
No, yeah.
Yeah. Is that all right? You're gonna
No,
give
good.
me a clip here from my hand.
Good on you. Looking healthy.
We're-
into the gym and
Yeah.
got bloody tit for tat off.
We're looking for a sponsor, so if Mosh wants to come our way, or Pilot,
Maybe if we
Hit
get
us up.
Mosh in, you get the hat off.
Maybe we can get
Only for Mosh.
Pilot, get Lynchy some Cialis.
What's that? I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a long-lasting Viagra.
before we go, too, we got to
Horny areas.
we got to mention the Shibasaki Goatee over
yeah,
here.
mate. Did it for content.
It's looking outstanding.
I've been told to hold on to it, but I don't know if that's a stitch up. I went into
Who
a
told you
meeting
that?
and I wasn't sure if there was a meeting before the meeting. A few of the boys were like, no, really, Serge.
It actually does.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I
And
don't know
Origin hat on.
if that's more offensive. Yeah, mate, I'm soaking it up still. Like
That
New
was
South
one of the
Wales
great
sucks.
wins.
Yeah.
That is like when we talk about Origin and AFL, where it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what Queensland do on a regular basis to reinvigorate state of origin.
Yeah.
The
against-
spirit.
Oh, man, it's bloody amazing. What
They
a
just
great
get it.
win.
Yeah.
Great series win.
Fantastic.
Quinlander. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
So, yeah.
Cheers, guys.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website